Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca Domingo Newman, staff in the Office of Environmental Justice, Tribal Affairs and Border Relations or OEJTB, and I am part of the EJAC team. I will be providing an overview of the 2025 travel guide. So CARB has updated the travel guide for 2025 due to reimbursement guidelines from the California Department of Human Resources or CalHR, changing as of October 1st, 2024 for all travel on state business. We wanted to acquaint you with these changes to ensure that you have the latest information. The purpose of this travel guide is to support the EJAC members in understanding travel requirements for state business. This guide clarifies and explains the CalHR requirements for 2025 travel reimbursement. CARB staff is providing this overview presentation to walk through the new reimbursement and travel practices that went into effect on October 1st, 2024, when the new federal standard rates for meals and short-term lodging were adopted. Here are the CalHR guidelines to pay particular attention to. All AB 32 EJAC members, just like CARB employees, must follow the travel guidelines of CalHR when traveling for state business. State agencies reimburse the actual and necessary out-of-pocket travel expenses incurred by state officials, employees, and designated personnel during official state business. CARB is responsible for making sure that such travel is in the best interest of the state and meets the members' needs. Meeting activities such as the date and time of the meeting and mode of transportation determine how much time is spent for travel. More CalHR guidelines. No expenses for meals, lodging, or incidentals will be allowed at any location when that meeting is less than 50 miles from the traveler's home or headquarters, as determined by the normal commute distance. Here is the new rule. As of October 1st, 2024, travel that is less than 12 hours from the traveler's residence to the meeting and back is not eligible for meals and incidental expenses reimbursement. Further, the most economical method of transportation should be used whenever possible, and flights with the lowest usable airfare, such as Southwest Wanna Getaway flights, should be chosen. Also effective January 1st, 2025, the personal vehicle mileage reimbursement rate has been increased from 67 cents per mile to 70 cents per mile. Here is how the meal reimbursement rates have changed. The middle row of this table shows the old rates valid until September 30, 2024. The bottom row in bold shows the new maximum meal reimbursements that have increased starting October 1st, 2024. Breakfast is now up to $16 reimbursement. Lunch is now up to $19 reimbursement. And dinner is now up to $28 reimbursement. Daily incidental expenses after each night's stay at the hotel remained at $5. Meals included in lodging, flight, or conferences, however, must be deducted from the daily total allowable meal reimbursement. The maximum daily total of meals and incidental expense, or M&IE, is up to $68. Please note that these are maximum allowed reimbursement of actual meal expenses, including tips. Itemized meal receipts are required to claim meals, and these do not guarantee full reimbursement for all food expenses They depend on the length of travel. These are important changes to the eligibility for meal reimbursement. In the past, meal reimbursement depended on the time of day that travel begins and ends. However, starting October 1st, 2024, meal reimbursement depends on the total duration or length of time traveled. Between 12 and 24 hours of travel, one can claim up to 75% of the meals and incidentals actual expenses. When the travel in total exceeds 24 hours, one can claim up to 75% of meal reimbursement on the first day of travel and also on the last day of travel because these are both partial days of travel. However, during full days of travel between the first and the last day, one can claim up to 100% of the applicable meal and incidental expense. Lastly, travel that is less than 12 hours in duration is not eligible for meal and incidental expense reimbursement. Please note that the travel status begins at the time when the traveler leaves their home or headquarters, whichever occurs last, and ends at the time when the traveler returns to the home or headquarters, whichever occurs first. Here are the standard daily lodging rates for California that have increased. Some selected counties, based on more frequent travel, are shown here on the table. Please note that these new lodging rates depend on the month that travel occurs. Some counties, such as Humboldt County, have higher allowed lodging rates during the summer months of June to August, whereas others, like Riverside County, have higher allowed lodging rates during the fall to winter months from October to April. The complete list of California counties and their daily lodging rates is accessible in the Cal-HR Manual 2203. Keeping a record of travel receipts is important, so please collect and keep all your receipts, including itemized meal receipts with separate alcoholic beverages charges because these will not be reimbursed, rental car with a final itemized bill, gasoline expenses, rail and bus fares, hotel lodging with the final bill itemized, parking and road or bridge tolls, taxis or shuttles, local transit such as Uber or Lyft. Cal-HR requires that travelers keep their receipts for 3 to 7 years. For reimbursement, please scan or take pictures of all your receipts for lodging, transportation, and other business travel costs, and submit them to the CARB TA for travel expense claim or TEC preparation. Here are some important reminders. No expenses are allowed at any location less than 50 miles from the traveler's home or headquarters, as determined by the normal commute distance. Travel that is less than 12 hours is not eligible for meals and incidental expense reimbursement. Please submit copies of itemized receipts to the CARB travel assistant. Non-allowable expenses such as alcoholic beverages, hotel pantry, and hotel parking for more than one vehicle will not be reimbursed. Tipping is reimbursable up to $2 or 20% of the meal, whichever amount is greater. However, the meal, including tip, must not exceed the maximum allowed amount. Incidental expenses include fees and tips for porters, baggage carriers, hotel staff, and do not include taxi fares, rideshare fares, or telephone calls. Finally, here is the contact information for the CARB travel assistant, Roberta Bobby Rouge. If you have any questions or clarifications regarding the CalHR requirements or would like to discuss further, please do not hesitate to contact us. The CARB TA can be reached by telephone or email between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., but will be available outside of these hours in case of emergencies. With this, I would like to thank you for listening and thank you for your time.